They will make such a competition to us, but we will definitely bankrupt, whatever. And as he says, they will attract all the good engineers from our company, take them away. I will go myself. Who will stay? Then the company does not have any fortune at all, any future at all. And he says, why? We cannot lose anything by going along with them. So it's better to join your enemy than to face him and die.
There's a great animosity, when it all started between local authorities and the European people who were coming to talk, because frankly speaking, they're not they're interested in restoration of the river traffic. And our authorities had the stance that, okay, you need a river traffic, you restore it yourself. And then they said, okay, we will remove the bridges. And they said, no, we will not allow you to remove the bridges, you will have to build them again, because you are the ones destroying them. So at the first moment, the stances were very far apart, because the Yugoslavian government did not allow any interference whatsoever within the river without prior commitment to restore all the bridges. And the European Union did not have an idea to restore all the bridges, because it's terribly expensive. And then after months and months and months of very tough negotiations, they came to this solution. So it was already a subject of some studies for reconstruction. It was narrow, it was old, and okay, a bridge is a bridge, the loss is the loss, but it was no big deal about that one. Now we have there a new bridge, which is not very significant, but having in mind that it was constructed in a record time period when Yugoslavia was under international sanctions by our own local resources, when we were in the lack of everything, it is quite an accomplishment. See, what is impressive, for example, is that this is kind of a sophisticated structure. With stay cables, with high pylons, everything. Although it's a little bit old-fashioned now, for that time it was really an accomplishment. And the other bridge, the big concrete bridge, Šešelj Bridge, was built, let's say, a decade earlier in a classic style, old-fashioned arc bridge. And having a look at the way they were constructed, the sophisticated structure gave up instantly, and the old one had suffered, let's say, 7 attacks with more than 30 missiles, bombs, whatever was launched on it, while the Sloboda Bridge collapsed only after 2 Tomahawk missiles, very precise in the base of the pylons, and it was down in a minute. But the Žeželj Bridge concrete arch structure retained, although very heavily damaged, perforated by various hits, and they could not put it down, and they concentrated their attacks on the middle pier in the river. They gave up targeting the beams, the arcs, and then they concentrated their fire on the middle pier, and then they just destructed it. It was just blown away, and without the pier, both arcs collapsed in the river. I just wanted to point out the difference between modern sophisticated technologies, even in construction business. That the more sophisticated they are, the more sensitive they are. I don't say that the other one is safer than this one, but it's very sophisticated, vulnerable. If you touch it at the proper point, it will heal, it will give up. So that's how it went. See those big holes down there? Those were the bearings. You see, just for, you can judge by yourself how much was the structure pulled towards the river, because the bearings went out for maybe 2.5 meters. And that the bearings slided, saved the pier. On the other piers, it was a rigid connection, which took the piers away with the structure. This is the divers barge, divers equipment. They have everything there, oxygen. There's cutting on going down there. And this is a custom-made composition of vessels and girders and lifting equipment. We call it catamaran vessel of possibly 800 tons lifting capacity, which is used to take out big bridge segments from the river bottom.
A ja bio tamo pitam tamo treba tu kaže ne znam. Meni pao lanac na uraganu.
Pourquoi me suis-je donc tourné vers Prométhée? Pour survivre et c'est-à-dire pour lequel il n'y a aucune possibilité de sortir de la mort.
Il est là, était illégitime. Alors,